not because of that. Nuns lived very diligently, and they lived independently, not rely on bhikshu or other lay people. They sold their lunch or they made some guest house for the lay people. With that income, they educated their disciples. So now our generation also learn nuns. They can propagate Buddhism. They can give Dharma lecture to lay people. Because of that, lay people or society, they respect Korean nun or Buddhist nun equally as monk. Now Korean, the number of Sangha, Samini, the number of non Samini, Sammanela, the number is 1,708, about 1,700. The male practitioner, Sami, the number is 2,200 about. The number of bhikshuni, 4,100 about. The number of bhikshu is 4,100. This number we must focus on this number because about 20 years ago, the number was bhikshu was twofold much than bhikshuni, but nowadays almost the same. Why like that situation arise? In my opinion, when Korean monks or Korean nuns, when they are poor, they only focus on their practice. But as industry develops, monks become to have much money. And they meet many lay women. So they have many chances to commit their precept. So I think because of that, the number of monks and the nuns are almost the same nowadays. 20 years ago, the monks about 200 than nuns. So now, I belong to Joge Order. Joge Order is a representative order in Korea. The whole number of our Joge Order, the number is 12,000. About 12,000. In order to full ordain, we must pass 3 courses. First, the primary course. When we ordained, it was about 3 years, but now it comes to 1 year. Training time becomes shorter. Primary course is about 1 year. During this time, we learn chanting and the ceremony, like that, etiquette, how to eat our offering bowl. So, for example, during this time, if nun walk like this or like this, it's strict. Now you have to be like and like secular habits. I like that loudly and eat loudly, and this must be checked by an entire nurse. So during primary course, we learn etiquette, chanting, ceremony, like that. Though we coordinated and don't know how to ceremony and don't know how to chanting, we cannot, we reject. In my experience, my non-teacher, he always compare me. You must write what you recite today. So every day I recite the sutra or ceremony or chanting and record one note. So we must record what I studied that day. If one successfully pass this primary course, then we can receive ordination samini. Ordination. After pass this 1 year course. And basic course is a 4-year course. It's divided into two. One is the Sutra course, one is the Zen course. Yesterday evening chanting, the other nun, she's the teacher of Sutra course. She teaches the Mahayana Sutra. This course is not stay in not own temple. In order to finish this course, none must move to educational learning center. Education learning center. And the Zen course, also a 4-year course. We must summer retreat and winter retreat. It is 3 months course. In order to finish Zen course, none must move to Zen course center. Not stay their own temple, but move. Sutra course, we learn monks or learn etiquette and the Zen way and the Mahayana Sutra. For example, Avatamsaka Sutra, like that, Vajra Sutra. In order to receive Bhikshuni ordination, Bhikshuni precept, one must successfully pass this basic course. It is not easy because in this course most of them fall down. So after Bhikshuni ordination, they can choose special course. For their own liberation, they can go Zen room, Zen monastery. In order to learn more Vinaya, they can go Vinaya course about 3 years. In order to teach others or in order to become a teacher of sutra, they can go university or traditional sutra course. again. This is the three kinds of course of our non-sangha, but if ordained 10 years, then most of nuns, they forget like this thing. So re-education is nowadays necessary. After ordination, 5 years passed, one must receive re-education. So I want to introduce the schedule of our daily life. I think Korean monks and nuns are most diligent in the world, maybe. They get at 3 a.m. 3:45, we have a morning chanting. After morning chanting from 4 a.m., meditation course, they have a meditation, and the sutra course, they learn sutra. From 4 to 5 is a study time or meditation time, and from 5 to 6 is a free time. We can wash our clothes and so on. From 6 is the breakfast time. We use offering bowl, special offering bowl. There are 4 bowls. One bowl is rice, one bowl is not rice, food, vegetable. One bowl is water. After eating, we wash our bowl by ourselves and make a clean. We clean with the water and pork and food. Not follow other words. We finish washing our bowl by ourselves. From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is meditation or sutra study. Like this. 10:30 offering Buddha time. Offering rice to Buddha. 10:30. 11 is lunch. From 12 to 4 is meditation time. 5 is dinner time. Most Theravada Buddhism, they don't eat the dinner, but China, Korea, Japan, Maya Buddhism, and most high altitude, cold country, they eat the lunch. You understand? Cold country, they eat the not dinner. But it's not necessary, it's our option. 6 p.m. evening chanting. After chanting until 10, meditation time. From 10, we can sleep. It's free time. So I also finished this course. If one non finish until 2, then one non can teach others, and most people respect her because this training course is very tight and very difficult. During this course, we don't use personal room. In the big room, we sleep together, meditation together, eat together, not admit personal room or admit personal remove their secular habit, like a woman, Jesus, like that, they are removed. And they learn how to meditation and how to do so. They are so difficult to change. Not same as the secular habit. Now I am also introduce very, I think it's a good issue subject in our Korea. Now we plan to build fictional building. So chairman of fictional Sangha, I also asked her to come this conference, but she said, I'm so busy. I must collect money for this building. Please, later I go. So now our most big issue in for two Korean, we built the Bikshuni building. Now our office is located in the main temple of Bhikshu temple, one part of Bhikshu temple. But we plan to our own big building. Second, one nun, she is name is Bonga. She plans to make a story of Bhikshuni. My sutra teacher, she keeps research very well. In her life, she never eat meat. She now built Vinaya course, and she planned to teach Vinaya 3-year course. And I also want to introduce Buddhist women's work in Korea. Now they want to collect the first one, then we can work easily. So last year they did a workshop, Buddhist women workshop. So some of them work counselor, some of them do take care of the older people, because they work by themselves and earn money and take care of all the people. Because until now, government not yet take care of the older one. So I think it's very hopeful thing in Korea, very good thing. And also we plan to Buddhist culture. So we made Buddhist Culture Institute and collect scholar and study or invest, searching Buddhism culture in order to, because of Christianity power is so strong. So now Buddhism culture fall down, so we want to restore. Okay? It's my brief introduce of Korean knowledge. If there is a question, I want to give you
questions? Actually, I have one. How much time does girls get to the graduate course? At what age?
Yeah, it's from 20. And in order to ordain, girl must finish high school course, graduate high school. And before 40. But nowadays the year becomes short. So nowadays we want to limit before 40, you know. Until 50, but we want to make limit 40. From 19 or 20, from 20 to 40. Before until 50 admit, but nowadays it's too old to practice, so until 40.
recently we've heard a lot about the conflicts between monks in the Chobe order. What are the implications of this power struggle for the bhikkhunis?
Yeah, I want to explain about that. Yeah, in the news, when 2 years ago, when I was in India, I saw MBC News. There is a scene of monks fighting. I think it's because of our history. When we colonized by Japan about 36 years, most good monks compared to marry. But after 1950, we have First Republic, and at that time,
President.
So that time, why in the temple there is children, there is wife. So that time he wants to change the old temple with the bhikshu. So there was a fighting, married monk and bhikshu. But that time the number of bhikshu was small, much smaller than married monk, and also the power is much smaller. So that time, Bhikshu Sangha follows some strong men and two groups of white and win by Bhikshu Sangha. That time, bad quality Bhikshu Sangha adopted.
Sorry?
Bhikshu Sangha follows some strong bad quality men in order to fight married monk. So they are become one of the member of Bhikshu, the bad quality. And that time they were young, only 20 years like that. Now they are 60 years like that, leadership age generation. So because they they don't have the sort of practice or sort of Buddhism. They like fame, they like money, they like power. So some of them fighting. Most of practitioners practice very hard in the mountain Zen center or sutra course like this very diligently. Not all of monks are fight. A little, just a little they fight. And their origin is from our Korean history. Can you understand?
I would like to know teachers in primary course, basic course, special course, are they all nuns, bhikkhunis, or also monks?
Okay. Sutra course, primary course or bhikkhuni. Basic course, sutra course, now also all bhikkhuni. Because about 50 years ago, bhikkhuni received the sutra course lineage from monk. But they have a lineage, so can give a lineage to next generation. So did you see yesterday, Vanna? She also received the teaching lineage from her teacher. So sutra course, most of all are taught by nun. But Zen course, now Zen course, we also educated 2 months during 4 years. Spring 1 month, autumn 1 month. This springtime, I also elected by teaching Zen theory among 5 months, 2. Yeah, because we have not enough time to educate the Zen theory, not yet. But if time passes, then maybe it can be changed. But now, Zen course, their teaching master teacher is now monks and non-mixed. this time also I'm among them. Okay.
And in the special course,
Special course, their course is for their own practice, they go to the Zen Center. And the Vinaya course is taught by Nan, my teacher, Sutra course teacher. And Sutra course also taught by Nan. So we have only the Zen course educated by someone, not all. Yeah?
The Cambodian nuns, they'd like to know when the girls come to take the course, do they get the support from the money to pay for the course from the donations or from families, or how do they work?
Primary course, most of them are educated in their personal knowledge, not move to other. Sometimes collect to one place and educated, but most of them are educated their personal, belong to one nun, and then normally they educated. But basic course, not to move, not stay in their own knowledge, not to move to Sutra course temple or Zen course temple. And this course supported by their teacher, non-teacher, because the personal knowledge they have finance and support them. In my case, I finished this course. Also, I finished this course, and now I belong to this course. And special course, sometimes I supported by my family. Sometimes my semester, he also supported me. And after finishing basic course, one nun manage one monastery. So they can make their finance money. So did not support because they open Dharma talking and let people come equally to monk monastery. Also normally there come many lay people, they listen and respect love so much.
So would you say that support for nuns is equal to support for monks in Korea?
Last year I visited America and I met one lay woman who is Korean. She said, I like monks. Then, no, she said, because female like male, then say female. Maybe that difference is there, but not so much.
And what about the power of relations in the Choge order? Are any bhikkhunis in positions of authority in the Choge order, of the institution of the monastic order? Who is president, vice president, secretary, treasurer? Are they bhikkhus or bhikkhunis?
We are all bhikkhunis. We able to also bhikkhuni, but in order to decide to get other many things, the decision meeting, most of them are bhikkhu, so nowadays bhikkhuni. We just about that. We number is almost half. Why bhikkhu? Most of you decide our policy. So nowadays, yes, this is about that. Decision meeting but number is much less than picture. But we can also about of our temple. Big temple also not about not vice president and so on. Not. Yeah.
I probably don't need that. What do you, after you finished the step 3 of the course, what do you do then? Is the option to just become a teacher, or is there, as a fictiony, do you do social service in the community? What happens?
Yes, it's our option. I think no one cannot compare us. In my case, I finished this course, also structural course, also I finished the university. Now I'm teaching at the university about the theory. But I don't want to teach until so old. Until sometime I want to teach, and after that I make the center, and I want to also practice. It's my option. Sometimes we can service to society. Many kinds of people, dharma or help poor. There are many kinds. It's our option. No one cannot compare. Yeah.
Yes, some of Cambodian women are uneducated, and we want to know some good experience of Korean nuns, how to encourage girls to join the nunhood, because it's difficult in my country.
Yeah. When I was young, the capital of Korea, especially Seoul, there was not so much temples. But nowadays many propagation center in Seoul, and that temple or propagation monk is a very good leader. So after listening the Dharma meeting or after listening Dharma, young students want to ordain. In my case, I teach students in the university. After my lecture, last year, 2 students wanted to be ordained. They are boys, not women. Okay? It's okay?
This is just a little technical question. In the second part of the ordination process, you said that that you do a summer and a winter retreat. Is that just if you're doing the Zen portion? If you're doing the sutta study, do you not do any meditation?
No, it's separated. Basic course, one wanted to just Zen practice, then they go into Zen course. One wanted to know Mahayana Buddhism, they go to Sutra course. It's separated. No, not mixed.
So the summer and the winter retreat is
Yes.
just for the Zen.
4 years, they must do summer and the winter retreat 4 years, and they must listen spring lecture for 1 month and autumn lecture for 1 month. Zen course. And the Sutra course is very like the same. So in order to receive a full ordination, fictional ordination, one must pass this course successfully. During this course, not permitted the personal life, cannot go out. For 3 months, nuns cannot go out, must stay in the temple. And not permit you to her own room. We sleep, we come together. one kind of training course, very hard training.
So in both the Sutta and the Zen course, you follow that schedule.
Yes,
But in one case, you're studying the suttas, and in the other case, you're doing
Yeah,
formal
it's choice.
meditation.
It's option. Yeah, it's a Sutra course and the Zen course is the same. And when I was in Zen center, we move, in order to go Zen course, you must move our personal memory to Zen course. We must move. And during 3 months, some nuns never sleep, never rise, or sit down. And some nuns for 3 months, they don't speak. Yeah. Is there anything to know? No? And thank you.
It has been a great privilege for me to be present at nearly all the Sankirtan meetings all over the world. And at the very outset, I like to remember whenever Ayah came up, the first initiated me, invited me for the first conference. And there we started a new way of life. And at that conference, I was elected into the Vinaya Research Committee with Dr. Lakamas. I like to remember his name because she invited me to Germany. And we started working on the Theravada Vinaya. It's quite a way. Maybe about, I've already taken about 11 years to finish this research on the Theravada Vinaya. It's a long story, so I hardly know how to say it in such a short time. My subject is recent research in Bhikkhuni Vinaya. What is Vinaya? Vinaya is really the monastic discipline the Buddha instituted for all monks and nuns. I think all Buddhism is discipline with a capital D. There is no dilution, there is no compromise, there is no collaboration, it is discipline with a capital D. So, but this discipline is with loving kindness, for the benefit of humanity, be it lay society, be it ordained society, all that discipline is basically with loving kindness, compassion, and that kind of divine. So there is no rigorous discipline. There is no military discipline. There is nothing that is hard. It is easy, liable, willing, happy, natural. So, Vinaya is that kind of discipline given to us by the Buddha himself. They are monastic rites to protect the good and eliminate the undesirable. The order is purified. Always the good and noble have a place in the monastic order. They have the rights, not those who are misconduct. We have been talking so much about human rights. I was thinking to myself, there are those who misconduct, who are inhuman, terrorists and culprits, and people who do so much damage. Do they deserve human rights? They are inhuman. This is a question I put before you. Not everybody deserves these rights according to this Buddhist discipline. Only the right conducting the noble and the good have monastic rights. Others have to follow it. But, as I told you before, it is loving kindness. This is something that struck me very well when I was studying the Vinaya. The Vinaya rules are very democratic. A person has a chance to practice virtue undisturbed and to keep the environment clean and pure and unhindered by undesirable elements. This is the reason why Vinaya rules have been promulgated. As much as the legal system in this world protects the kind of ownership, we know very well there is no absolute ownership of any description. That is why the legal system has arisen. If there was absolute ownership, there is no need for legality. Legal system has arisen because human beings have formulated all the laws. Because there is no ownership. So in the same way, the Buddha, their conventions, man-made. All legal systems are man-made conventions. Similarly, the monastic rites were formulated by the Buddha to keep the society going happy and able to proceed and progress towards the goal. Most of the rules I find have been formulated for the protection, in the case of bhikkhunis, the protection of bhikkhunis. If there is someone who is misconducting, then there is a chance for that person to rise above it, get forgiveness for the lesser offences, not for the parajika, the defeat, the offences that makes you unfit to become a queen, and then you have to leave the order. But for a person who misconducts in a lesser way, there is a method where we can confess and we can take a penalty and we can rise up again to the original form. So inside the order, there are no people who are misconducted. If they have to confess and they have to redeem themselves, and then they have to rise above it and not repeat the mistake again and again. So it keeps the monastery clean. Nobody is hurting anyone. Everybody is happy. Everybody is conducting the right way. So the monastic disciplines help you so much. And there is a sense of forgiving, a sense of loving kindness. All of us are not saints to begin with. We all make mistakes. But the important thing is that we understand it. When a person makes the mistake, the Buddha, it comes to the Buddha, so and so has done this wrong thing. And then the Buddha will call him up and ask him, is it true that you have been doing this? And then he has to say yes and confess and admit his guilt. It is only then that the Vinaya rule is promulgated. And that too, the first offender is excused. Yes, no punishment. So, there is redemption, there is purity, there is nobility, there is virtue, there is the environment that is conducive to the practice, and there are no violators of ethics or the discipline within the monastic order. I think in the world at large, we have to go back to these real facts if they want to clean society. We cannot compromise. We cannot say, okay, we live with it, because the practice becomes dilute. It cannot come up and have the effectiveness to get the goal. So there is no compromise. Sometimes it is necessary that the Sangha must meet and discuss why, how the offense is. And then they come to a consensus of opinion that it is wrong, and therefore they need this kind of redemption. So there is an absolute sense of fairness and justice. If you are good, you get your place. If you are not good, you have no place. And there is no leadership as such. This is one thing that struck me when I studied the media. There is no leader. There is no person who is on top, who is dictating terms. He becomes a leader through his own good conduct. He becomes a leader because he has studied the Dhamma. He becomes a leader because he has supernormal powers. He becomes a leader because he is virtuous. He becomes a leader because he is a good orator. He becomes a leader for whatever good attribute he has. Not because he is in the hierarchy. So the Buddha never appointed a single leader, not one in the Mahkut or in the Bhikkhunis, the nuns, a leader. So we become leaders for the work we do. So these rules, there are 311 according to that. Theravada. We are expected to recite these rules bi-monthly. Every 2 weeks we get together the nuns and we recite the rules of discipline. So we remember them, we remind ourselves the responsibility. We know that we must not deviate. We know our responsibility and our practice. We cannot afford to forget it. And then it helps us with the purity of conduct. And that purity of conduct is the basis for higher knowledge, for higher practice, for meditation, for concentration, for awareness, for mindfulness, for everything. This basic discipline is so necessary. So actually within the community, each of us know how to behave. So we don't come up with conflicts and we don't have conflict resolution because there is metta, there is karuna at the base. Sometimes it is required that if someone is doing the wrong thing, all the nuns will come round and say, sister, you are not doing the wrong. You are doing the wrong thing. This is not what the Buddha meant. This is not the practice. So they must advise her up to 3 times. She doesn't take the advice, but she continues her own way. Then a second time, and the third time, we have to admonish them. And if the third time she does not comply, then she has to go before the Sangha, the Sangha says, and if that too fails, she has to leave the order. And the order remains pure. There are no people misconducting within the order. So the Buddha said, Dhamma is the leader, not any individual. You have to go back to the Dhamma, again and again. And that's the Dhamma that gives you how to proceed, where to proceed, what to follow. It keeps down a bhikkhuni is expected to have, or a bhikkhu or monastic is expected to have few wants. and less greed. So these things help to preserve the rules. We were talking so much about the gender. It appears as if there is some discrimination because there are 8 rules of defeat, Parajika for Bhikkhunis, whereas there are only 4 rules for Bhikkhus. I studied this very carefully. Some of the 8 rules are mostly concerning sexual contact. If a woman who is sexually inclined makes a physical touch of a man, or if that man is also similarly inclined, she sits with him and talks, laughs, joking. That kind of thing can be a case of defeat for a woman, but it is not so for a man. For man, the defeat comes only if he actually indulges in sexual intercourse. But for a woman, any kind of advancing or living in a way to induce a man for sexual feeling, then it is a big offense. I don't know whether there is a psychological difference between the sexuality of man and woman. I think there is. Because there's a very good reason for this. A woman can always initiate such feelings in a man, I think, faster than a man can in a woman. That might be one reason why this kind of Vinaya rule has been promulgated especially only for women, not for men. So there are final points like that in the Vinaya, which I think is not gender discrimination, but a reality of the biological situation of man and woman. So though there are 8 rules and more stringent for women, still it protects her more than as far as such things are necessary. I think the man needs less protection as a woman in where sexuality is concerned. So we find that there are more rules for women, but it also means that a woman keeps better discipline. More rules means better discipline. So, therefore, the whole idea is that she does not transgress physically or verbally. Vinaya is only concerned with this physical and verbal transgression, not mental. The Dhamma and meditation will take care of the mental transgressions. Our behavior and our conduct, our decorum, all that is covered by Vinaya. how you speak, what you speak, how you act is important. So there is dignity in the order, there's purity in the order. So the lay society can look up to them with reverence. That reminds me that the Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni order, the enlightened Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni, represent the third gem of the world, Sangha. So it is very important to keep up this tradition of Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni. It is difficult, but yet so important. When we say Sangham Saranam Gacchami, we go for refuge to the enlightened Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis. Sangha means both orders. So it's a great responsibility. So we need to live in a way that people come to look up to you, and therefore your behavior, the external behavior becomes very important. So keeping rules as a basic